figure it's like old home week, right? We came back home because we never finished this.
We could put some potential caissons on here just so we all know what is possible.
Not quite. We were close. In a way, we know what we're looking for. We're definitely looking for more pieces of what we found earlier.
I mean, clearly that was one of the more interesting areas that we've drilled into in the money pit. With a caisson this size, we can cover a lot more ground.
Today, we journey deep into the very heart of Oak Island, a place where centuries-old legends collide with groundbreaking discoveries. For over 200 years, countless explorers have searched, sacrificed, and risked everything to unearth its greatest secret. But now, everything may have changed. After years of cryptic clues and dead ends, a seasoned Oak Island insider has dropped a bombshell. A shocking claim that the fabled treasure may finally have been uncovered in Season 12. What did they find? How did they uncover it? And could this be the discovery that rewrites history itself? Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the twists, turns, and explosive revelations we are about to uncover in this saga. Do you think this insider's claim is real, or is it another false lead? Could the treasure finally be closer than we ever imagined? And if the curse is true, what price might they pay for uncovering it? Let us know what you think in the comments below. For years, I have walked across Oak Island, tracing every path, every whisper of history buried beneath my feet. My obsession has always led me back to one place, the money pit, that cursed stretch of ground where they say treasure waits, and where countless souls before me have tried and failed to uncover its secrets. This season, our focus tightened. I watched as Duma Contracting pushed the garden shaft deeper than ever before, cutting down into the earth until we hit 90 feet. Just 5 more, and we'd reach a tunnel. A tunnel we believe could lead to what we call the baby blob, a chamber rumored to hold part of the fabled treasure. The deeper we dug, the stronger the signals grew. Metal traces, hints of something massive below. And in that moment, hope, the kind that keeps you awake at night, surged through me. Could this be it? Challenges came quick. Shifting soil, flooding water, and constant setbacks threatened to slow us. But none of us backed down. Marty, standing beside me, could barely contain his excitement. Laird, our archaeologist, studied each layer of earth with a quiet intensity, his anticipation written all over his face. At the borehole known as H8, Terry and Charles monitored every fragment that surfaced. Parchment, leather bindings, even a marked object none of us could quite explain. Clues, tiny yet monumental, that whispered of vaults breached centuries ago. Tests on the water around the boreholes hinted at something extraordinary. Traces of precious metals buried deep beneath. I couldn't shake the thought. Were we standing above the chapel vault? Had centuries of shifting earth moved it closer than ever? We turned our attention to the ancient stone path, a strange road vanishing into the swamp. Gary, Jack, and Billy worked tirelessly, unearthing relics piece by piece. Gary speculated it might once have been a wharf, built for ships that carried secrets we still don't fully understand. As the days passed, I felt the weight of history pressing down on me. Every sound of metal striking stone, every fragment lifted from the mud, every breath we took on that island brought us closer, closer to the truth, closer to an answer that has eluded us and the world for over 2 centuries. Gary Drayton's excitement was electric, his eyes glinting as he brushed the last layer of soil from the mysterious board. The air around us buzzed with anticipation. Standing there, between the ancient stone road and the money pit, 2 of Oak Island's most enigmatic landmarks, It felt as though history itself was whispering through the wind. We weren't just uncovering artifacts, we were peeling back layers of time. Rick Lagina studied the scene with sharp focus. "This isn't random," he said, his voice low yet commanding. "Whoever placed this here, they did it deliberately." His words hung in the air like a challenge, urging us to look deeper. Gary crouched down, running his fingers along the board's surface. At 2 feet below the ground, its thickness and fine craftsmanship stood out immediately. "This isn't ordinary," Gary muttered, excitement flickering in his voice. "Feels like ship decking, high quality too." But something puzzled us all. For all its solid build, there were no signs of fasteners, no trace of metal. Rick raised an eyebrow, skeptical yet intrigued. "No metal? Not even a nail?" Gary shook his head. "Nothing. It's clean." The absence of any fastening only deepened the mystery. Who built this, and why bury it here? Our thoughts turned quickly to earlier finds in the area: ship planking, wooden artifacts, strange constructions buried deep beneath layers of swamp and stone. Could this board be part of the same puzzle? Marty, standing a few paces back, folded his arms as he watched the discussion unfold. His expression was thoughtful, almost reverent. "This swamp never stops surprising us," he said quietly. "Every piece we pull out, it means something. We just don't know what yet." There was a weight in his words, a quiet acknowledgement of the island's hold over us all. The marsh, with its murky waters and tangled roots, seemed to guard its secrets fiercely, yet each discovery felt like it brought us closer to unlocking them. Later in the afternoon, the mood shifted. Jack Begley rushed over from the Money Pit region, frustration etched on his face. Metal detection was giving them trouble, signals appearing and disappearing without warning. Somewhere below, metal objects, perhaps treasure, were hiding, evading every tool we had. Nearby, archaeologist Jaime Cuba and her team worked methodically at a stone foundation uncovered earlier in the year, deep beneath a circular depression. I joined Jack as we approached her, eager for answers. Jaime knelt by the stones, brushing dirt away carefully. "This isn't what we expected," she said, her tone equal parts confusion and excitement. "Look at the scale. This could have been part of something functional, not just decorative." Her observation opened a flood of speculation. Over the past year, we had unearthed artifacts spanning centuries. A lead barter token from the 14th century, Venetian glass beads from the 1500s, and even tools linked to Sir William Phipps. The evidence suggested multiple waves of activity on Oak Island, each leaving its mark. The question was, which of these layers held the treasure? Jaime laid out the plan for the day: define the edges of the foundation, document every layer, and search for clues that might tie this structure to the Money Pit legend. Jack's enthusiasm was contagious, his energy lifting the crew's spirits as we prepared to dig deeper. Meanwhile, Jeff combed through the soil with meticulous care, looking for any fragment, a shard of pottery, a rusted nail, that might connect the feature to Oak Island's broader mystery. Brick fragments, shards of glass, and ceramic pieces began to emerge. Each one added another thread to the story we were slowly unraveling. Evidence of people who had been here long before us, shaping the island for reasons still unknown. As the day wore on, we gathered around a new find, a compacted layer of soil with an unusual texture. Jaime paused, running her hand over it thoughtfully. "Mortar," she whispered, "or something like it." The moment felt electric. Mortar meant construction, deliberate effort. It meant we weren't just looking at random deposits. This was intentional. Fiona Steele, Another archaeologist on site stepped forward with a fresh discovery. From the same layer, she revealed yet another artifact. Its origin and purpose still unclear. The excitement spread like wildfire. In that moment, surrounded by half-buried relics and centuries of mystery, it felt as though Oak Island was finally ready to tell us its story, one piece at a time. The wind off Mahone Bay carried the salty tang of the sea as we gathered near the western shore of Lot 5. It was there, among scattered boulders and shifting soil, that archaeologist Laird Niven rejoined the crew. His arrival felt timely. The recent discoveries demanded experienced eyes. Fiona Steele crouched low near a stone foundation, her gloves darkened by ash and crushed shale. She tapped the ground lightly with her trowel, the sound hollow, almost deliberate. "Hear that?" she called out, her voice edged with excitement. "This isn't just soil. There's something beneath." We leaned closer as Jaime Cuba scraped back more layers. What emerged was grey, gritty, mortar or something like it. Jaime frowned thoughtfully. "Crude cement," she murmured, "almost identical to what we found near H8 in 2019. Jack Begley nodded, recalling the past discoveries. Bits of parchment, strange book bindings, shards of ancient concrete scattered across the money pit. "We've seen this before," he muttered. "It means something." Laird's mind was already racing ahead. "We'll need Emma to test this," he said firmly. "Compare it to the money pit samples. If it matches, we might finally understand how these structures connect." Jaime handed over a fragment, recognizing the importance of clarity. No theory here could stand without proof. As the team catalogued the find, Jack's excitement barely contained itself. Tomorrow's excavation promised more soil to sift, more clues to unearth. We all felt it. The next day could change everything. Meanwhile, at borehole H8, the work continued. Marty Lagina and his nephew Alex stood shoulder to shoulder, watching the drilling rig groan deeper into the earth, past 180 feet, toward the elusive chapel vault. Terry Matheson called out readings as layers shifted from soft silt to heavy clay. The tension was palpable. Then came the moment, a sharp, metallic clang. Terry signaled for the drill to stop. Carefully, he reached into the debris, pulling free a chunk of solid metal. It gleamed faintly in the light. "Could be part of the vault," Terry said, breathless. "Maybe even the plug itself." Marty's eyes narrowed, imagining centuries-old timbers and stones giving way, scattering fragments across unseen tunnels. "If the vault shifted," he mused, "we'll have to find where it moved." Plans shifted quickly. Rick suggested relocating the rig to follow the anomaly. Marty agreed, issuing instructions for the next borehole, even as excitement pulsed through the team. We were closing in. We could feel it. By afternoon, we gathered in the Duma trailer, mud still clinging to our boots. Rick, Alex, and Scott Barlow huddled around the table as Roger Fortin prepared to deliver the carbon dating results of a wooden fragment pulled from beneath the garden shaft. Alex patched Craig Tester in via phone, his voice steady but tense. "This is the moment," Rick said quietly. "Let's see how far back this story really goes." The room inside the Duma trailer was still. The only sound the hum of the equipment and the soft rustle of papers as Roger Fortin prepared his report. Rick Lagina stood at the head of the table, his hands resting on the worn wood surface, eyes fixed on the phone connection with Craig Tester. This was the moment they had been waiting for. The carbon dating results of the wooden fragment pulled from deep beneath the garden shaft. Rick commended the team before the call began, acknowledging Duma's relentless work in these unforgiving conditions. "You've put everything into this," he said quietly. "Whatever we find today, it's because of that dedication." Craig's voice crackled through the line, calm yet deliberate. "The results are in," he began. "The sample dates between 1631 and 1684. For a moment, silence. Then the room seemed to exhale all at once. Jeff leaned forward in disbelief. Jack's face lit with curiosity, and even Rick, normally composed, allowed a flicker of surprise to cross his features. This wasn't just a fragment of wood. This was a key, a bridge to a time long before the first documented searchers ever set foot on Oak Island. Craig continued, breaking down the percentages, outlining the layers of analysis that confirmed the result. The evidence was clear. The structure in question predated the money pit's earliest recorded excavations by more than a century. "Could this be part of the original design?" Alex asked aloud, his voice betraying a mix of wonder and caution. "It might be," Craig replied. "If so, we're not just looking at searcher tunnels, we're looking at something much older and possibly much bigger." Marty, standing near the back, folded his arms, considering the weight of the revelation. "That changes everything," he muttered. The discussion turned to strategy. Rick pushed for deepening the garden shaft, pressing further into the tunnel system, while Roger emphasized careful exposure and documentation. Scott urged speed, knowing each passing day risked new flooding or collapse. The team agreed. They had to move forward. But even amid this breakthrough, new mysteries surfaced. Across the island, on Lot 5, another investigation unfolded. Rick, Alex, Jack, and Scott met with archaeologist Laird Niven and archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan to analyze a strange, concrete-like substance unearthed from a stone foundation. Under Emma's X-ray diffraction, the results were shocking. The composition matched material found at the money pit, over 100 feet away. "This isn't random," Emma explained, her voice steady but laced with awe. "This was placed here, intentionally." The realization rippled through the group. Lot 5, once thought separate, might be directly tied to the money pit. How? And why would ancient builders go to such lengths to conceal their work? Scott Barlow ran a hand through his hair, stunned. "If this is connected," he said, "then we're looking at something on a scale we've never considered before." The implications deepened when Jack raised the theory of William Phipps, the 17th century privateer rumored to have hidden vast riches. Could these discoveries tie Oak Island to Phipps's fabled treasure? Rick listened, intrigued but cautious. Every answer only seemed to birth more questions. As dusk settled over the island, the team stood on the shoreline, the waters of Mahone Bay lapping quietly against the rocks. The weight of centuries pressed down on them. 229 years of searches, legends and lives lost in pursuit of answers. And now, with every clue, they were closer than ever. But Oak Island was never generous with its secrets, and with whispers of an ancient curse hanging over the next discovery, the stakes had never been higher. What else lies hidden beneath this soil? Are they on the brink of rewriting history, or awakening something best left buried? Stay with us as we uncover the next chapter in Oak Island's greatest mystery. The discoveries on Oak Island kept coming, each one more tantalizing than the last. While exploring what appeared to be an ancient stone road, the team stumbled upon something remarkable, a massive iron chain and hook, their corroded surfaces whispering of centuries past. Experts believed these relics dated back to the 16th century, sparking an audacious theory. Could this very apparatus have been used to unload cargo from ships onto Oak Island? Not far from the chain, buried in the marshy soil, a barrel stave emerged, eerily similar to wooden cargo barrels found in the same area 3 years earlier. Together, these finds painted a vivid picture. This spot may once have been a bustling port, a hidden gateway where goods or treasure first touched Oak Island's shores. The crew wasted no time planning their next moves. They would resume digging in the area, hoping to unravel the layered secrets the island refused to give up easily. But the marsh held more than just hints of trade. As Gary Drayton, Marty Lagina, and Billy Gerhardt examined the site, they were drawn to a strange formation, a stone road cutting through the mire. Was it the end of a long-forgotten path? A retaining wall? Or perhaps something more deliberate, something crafted with purpose centuries ago? Wooden artifacts scattered nearby fueled even more speculation. Gary's eyes lit up. This was no random debris. "We need specialists," he urged, convinced that what they were seeing was bigger than anyone realized. Marty, long skeptical of the swamp's significance, began to reconsider. For the first time, he saw potential, and with that, the faint glimmer of a breakthrough. Their focus on the swamp, however, was only part of a larger puzzle. Earlier in the season, deep beneath the money pit, the team had stumbled upon something extraordinary, a hidden second offset chamber near the infamous garden shaft. This chamber, located just 30 feet southwest of Aladdin's cave, a mysterious void, long suspected to be a treasure vault, redefined everything they thought they knew about Oak Island's underground labyrinth. Yet even as the team celebrated, disaster struck. A violent storm battered the island, flooding the garden shaft and threatening to halt progress altogether. The floods sparked uneasy speculation. Was this caused by a natural collapse, or had they inadvertently triggered one of Oak Island's legendary flood tunnels, rumored to protect whatever lies below? Ironically, that very flood might have brought them closer to the truth. As water levels rose, the Duma team traced the flow to a previously unknown chamber, distinct from the garden shaft and sitting 65 feet down. The revelation was staggering. Could multiple offset chambers, hidden beneath centuries of earth and stone, hold the key to Oak Island's ultimate secret? Even as they battled the elements, the Fellowship of the Dig pressed on. Their resolve was unshaken. If anything, the mysteries of Aladdin's cave and the submerged chambers only strengthened their belief that they were closing in on something monumental. But Oak Island's secrets weren't confined to the present season. To truly understand the scale of what they faced, the team often looked to their past discoveries, some of which had redefined the very history of the island. In Season 8, for example, they uncovered an ancient stone wharf, estimated to be over 300 years old. At first, they assumed it led deeper into the swamp, but to their astonishment, it turned toward the money pit. This single discovery lent unprecedented weight to Fred Nolan's controversial theory that the swamp itself was artificially constructed to conceal something far greater. The surprises didn't stop there. As excavation intensified, a massive stone feature dating to 1200 AD emerged, evidence of human intervention centuries before the money pit's first recorded discovery. And deeper still, near the southern edge of the swamp, came perhaps the most jaw-dropping find yet: a wooden ship's railing, dated between 660 and 770 AD. It instantly became the oldest known artifact ever recovered on Oak Island. Lot 15 would yield its own wonders, a cache of artifacts potentially over 1,300 years old, uncovered by Gary Drayton and Jack Begley. And as the dig progressed, water sampling tests from deep boreholes revealed unmistakable traces of silver buried far below the money pit, scientific proof that something extraordinary, perhaps even treasure, still waited in the depths. Each discovery, from chains and barrel staves to ancient ship timbers, deepened the mystery and brought the Fellowship closer to the truth. Yet Oak Island, with its centuries-old curse, seemed determined to guard its secrets to the very end. On Lot 21, Gary Drayton and veteran digger Dan Henske unearthed two curious iron objects, long, slender, and bearing mysterious markings. Blacksmithing expert Carmen Legger examined them closely and suggested they were swages, ancient tunneling tools that might trace back to the Knights Templar themselves. The revelation was electrifying. If true, it hinted at secretive excavation efforts centuries before the first recorded discovery of the Money Pit. Meanwhile, on Lot 25, near the former residence of freed slave and landowner Samuel Ball, Alex Lagina uncovered a British naval officer's button, dating to the early 19th century. The find raised provocative questions. What role did a naval officer play on Oak Island? Was he guarding something, or seeking it himself? The shoreline, too, held its share of secrets. While investigating the ancient stone wharf feature, Rick Lagina discovered fragments of a wooden cargo barrel dating back to the 15th century, potentially linked to early transatlantic voyages. In the Money Pit area, a leather boot heel recovered from borehole 8B stunned researchers when it dated to 1492, the same year Columbus sailed west. Could this artifact have belonged to a figure of equal significance hidden in Oak Island's tangled history? Further evidence of opulence surfaced along the stone pathway in the swamp, a gold-colored knob, believed to have once adorned an ancient jewel chest. And during Season 9, Rick Lagina and historian Doug Crowell unearthed an ancient trade weight from the same wharf, a tool once used to measure precious metals, suggesting the island may have been a hub for commerce long before its legend began. By 2021, technology was offering fresh leads. Using ground-penetrating radar, Alex Lagina and his cousin David Fornetti scanned the eastern edge of the Stone Road. The data hinted at hidden anomalies stretching away from the swamp. But winter's arrival forced the team to halt, leaving yet another mystery buried in the frozen earth. Elsewhere, Lot 4 revealed its own secrets. Gary Drayton's metal detector signaled over a strange piece of metal at a site cryptically labeled the Hole Under the Hatch, a location marked on Zena Halpin's controversial Templar map. Analysis by Dr. Krista Brosseau suggested the artifact might originate from a Portuguese cannon, strengthening theories that early explorers from Portugal's Azores Islands visited the region centuries before English settlers. The Money Pit itself continued to yield astonishing evidence. Treasure hunter Michael John and surveyor Steve Guptill recovered a small stone cannonball more than 100 feet underground, followed by another found by Rick Lagina and Gary Drayton, both possibly linked to Portuguese voyages. Wood samples from borehole CD6, dated to the 15th century, hinted at tunnels far older than the first recorded excavations, while a void discovered in borehole AB13 suggested an entirely separate chamber connected to the Money Pit. In borehole D2, a small piece of metal, bearing traces of gold, reignited hope. Treasure might not just be legend, it could still lie waiting. In 2020, a wooden object pulled from the triangle-shaped swamp was dated to 1632, while Lot 4 revealed a wood-finishing tool of English origin between 1620 and 1740. Off Lot 25, an immense wharf raised new questions about Samuel Ball's secretive activities, and whether he too might have uncovered part of the treasure in his lifetime. By 2022, discoveries came in rapid succession. A 500-year-old incline of paving stones surfaced, linking the swamp's paved area directly to the stone pathway leading toward the money pit, as if guiding treasure hunters deeper into the island's core. That same year, Gary Drayton and Rick Lagina unearthed a half-coin of Roman origin from Lot 5, dating to approximately 300 BC, the oldest European artifact ever found on Oak Island. The circular depression on Lot 5, eerily matching the money pit's diameter, yielded early 18th century pottery and artifacts, followed by a lead barter token with scalloped edges. Laser ablation testing connected it to the 14th century French lead cross, discovered at Smith's Cove in 2017, suggesting a startling link to the Knights Templar. Perhaps most astonishing was the discovery of a mysterious rectangular foundation, buried intentionally and surrounded by artifacts from the 1730s, including pipe stems, metal spikes, and pottery. Its construction period aligned with the building of the garden shaft, prompting speculation that a single group engineered both and may have hidden something of immense value in Oak Island's depths. Archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan analyzed another barter token unearthed by Drayton and Jack Begley, containing arsenical bronze, a material phased out after 1500 AD. The token was at least 5 centuries old, adding yet another layer to Oak Island's enigmatic past. Across these discoveries, strange beliefs and curses continued to haunt the island. For centuries, whispers of an ancient prophecy lingered, that 7 men must die before the treasure would be found. As of the show's 11th season, 6 lives have already been claimed. Marty Lagina himself acknowledged recent, undisclosed events on the island, only adding to the legend's dark allure. In the season's gripping 2-hour premiere, the team's exploration of Lot 5's circular land feature unearthed not just ancient coins, but a latch potentially linked to a historical figure tied to the treasure itself. And as Rick Lagina, calling in from Italy, marveled at the revelations, the team prepared to descend once again into the garden shaft, where traces of gold in the water foreshadowed what might be their greatest discovery yet. Yet with every step forward, danger looms. Flood tunnels, structural collapses, and the unshakable shadow of the Oak Island curse. Will the next chapter finally reveal the treasure that has eluded searchers for over 2 centuries, or will the island claim its 7th soul before giving up its secrets?